Hello, wonderful people. Welcome to yet another live stream. Today is 1st November 2025. It's a great day. More so, it's a Saturday. Saturdays are always great. So, it's good to have you guys on here. As you already know, my name is Edmund, the Edmund, because there's so many Edmonds, but there's only one the Edmund, and that is me. If you've been tuned in to our stuff all these years and months, you know what we're all about. We're all about content that provokes change. And so, if you love this, I'm glad. I'm glad to have you back on here. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. That way you can stay up to date with all our latest stuff, all our new videos and stuff that comes out. You don't want to miss out on that. That'd be great. Excuse me. Let me know where you're watching from, though. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching from. So I know there's a couple. There's a couple of people from different places. All right. Today I want to talk about something really controversial. I think that a lot of people will disagree with me in the very beginning, but once you really begin to think deeply about it, you'll see that there is some bit of truth to what I'm saying. And that has to do with legacy. I have reached a point where I believe legacy is not as important as we make it, right? And I'll start by saying that when you think about something that matters to you, when you think about something that you want to do daily, when you think about something that ignites you, there's a fuel in you, something that pushes you and to go out and do more, to be more, to contribute to society. When you think about stuff like that, you think about purpose because that's about you. That's mainly the most important thing in your life is your purpose. Your purpose is the most important thing in your life. Nothing else matters besides your purpose. And so when you think about your purpose, you're like, oh, this is something that I need to do for society. This is something that I need to do for the world. But whenever you think about legacy, legacy is like you're thinking about what other people think about you. Whenever we think about what is our legacy going to be, we think about what other people are going to think about us when we're no longer there. PWRMO says, hi, how are you? When you think about legacy, you're thinking about what other people are going to say about you. And this is why a lot of older people become wiser after a long time. People become wiser after a while. And the reason why they become wiser when they're older is because they go through life in certain seasons and they realize that some of the things they thought were important are not as important as they thought that they were. PWR Moon says, how are you? I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. It's a great Saturday. I didn't go out last night. Last night was Halloween night. I didn't go out last night. I stayed in. So I'm well rested. I'm doing good. And I'm excited to do this live stream. PWR Mo, if you're not already subbed, please go sub to the channel. I appreciate you, man. I'm talking about legacy. I'm talking about purpose and legacy today. Purpose and legacies is really important for you guys. I want you guys to know this. And if you missed it, I was just saying that whenever you think about something that you want to do for yourself, you think about purpose, right? When you think about something you want to do for yourself, you think about purpose. When you think about what other people think about you, you think about legacy. Legacy is what other people think about you, or legacy is what you feel other people will think about you when it comes to the thing that you're doing, right? So if I am a soccer player, if I'm an athlete, if I'm artist or a teacher or whatever, right? If that's the thing that I feel like I'm called to do, I'm going to do that. That is my purpose. But when I start thinking about legacy, I'm thinking about what do other people think about this thing that I'm doing. And I'm trying to tell you guys that legacy is not important. It sounds crazy, but you will realize that when we spend time thinking about what other people think about us, we realize that we're losing the very essence of the life we're living. Monique says, "How are you?" I'm doing well, Monique. I'm doing well, Monique. Nice to have you on here. When you think about what other people think about you, you lose the very essence of living because none of us were created to worry about what people think about us. Now, it's good to know what the opinions of people are when it comes to us sometimes, but we're not supposed to care about what people say about us. We're not supposed to care. The only time legacy is important is when you're dead. And you and I, we both do not control what people will say about us when we're dead and gone. Think about it, right? You guys have a favorite artist. Like you have Michael Jackson, name all these people, name all these influential people that are dead and gone. What power do they have to come alive now and say that this thing that these people are saying about me is not true or is true? Think about Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson died, and all of a sudden we have all these allegations about, him touching kids and doing all these crazy stuff. He's not alive. He's not alive to defend himself. He's not alive to say, "Oh, these things that you're saying about me is not true." He's not here, right? But that's his legacy because he's dead and gone. You understand? So when you start thinking about what people will say about me, like it's done. I think he was a good person. Monique says true, but he's good. Yeah, I thought he was a good person. I didn't think that, and the crazy thing is, yeah, Juice World. The crazy thing is the image of an individual is going to be stained no matter what we do. There's people that are going to think that he's on the right side of history, and there's people that are going to say he was a bad person. You understand? Let me even, yeah, yeah. Casey says Michael Jackson will be judged by God. God knows what he did. Absolutely. Only God can judge, right? Only God can judge. Casey, nice to have you on here, Casey. I don't know if you're already subbed, but if you haven't, please sub to the channel. I'd appreciate that. Casey Fox. Think about it. Only God can judge. Did you know that God knows everything we do good about? Absolutely. Yes. God knows everything we do. Casey, what do you know about God? I'm interested. This is my first time, I think, interacting with Casey. If you're not sub to the channel, go sub, please. And then we can keep in touch. But yeah, only God knows. Only God knows. Only God knows the stuff, the truth. You understand? God is watching us every single time. God is good and knows everything. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. So hear me and hear me well. Let me even make this better for you guys to understand, right? You guys know Charlie Kirk, right? Everybody knows Charlie Kirk. Everybody knows about the situation with Charlie Kirk. Now, whether you agreed with Charlie or you disagreed, it doesn't matter. It's fine. That's not the point here. The point here is Charlie died, and all of a sudden there's a different narrative going on. There's so many narratives going on about Charlie as an individual, right? People are saying that he did this and he said this, and then there's other people that disagree. There's nothing his wife can do to change what people are saying. There's nothing his wife can do to change the evil that people are saying that her husband spewed online. She can't do anything about it. Nor can Turning Point USA, the organization that Charlie was running, nor can Turning Point USA do anything about it, right? He is not in control of that. The legacy is there. You understand? The only person who we should even devote our legacy to is God, because God is the only one that knows what's going to happen when we're dead and gone. You understand? Legacy should be left to the people who are alive to determine the fate of it. It's a valid statement. We're going to go through our whole lives thinking that we have to do certain things for people and we have to please people in a certain way, in a certain manner, and then we will realize in the very end that they don't even matter. They don't even matter at the very end, because You and I will die at some point, and no matter the good that we did for society, someone will have something negative to say. I mean, there's three things that could possibly happen when you die, right? There's people that are going to have something good to say about you. There's people that might have something negative to say about you, or there might be a third, which is total conformity, right? Total conformity is like when everyone agrees wholeheartedly with something. So everybody admits that you're a bad person, or everybody admits that you're a good person. That's total conformity. But we live regardless of your views, right? Regardless of your political views, regardless of what you think, what your faith is, we live in an interesting world. We live in a progressive world. We live in a world that is constantly changing. There are people that are changing the very definitions for things we knew 10 years ago, right? Think about everything that you've known for like 20, like 15, no matter how many years you've been living, right? Think about something you've known, the definition of something you've known for like 10 years, 5 years. Those very things are changing right before our very eyes. I had a conversation with a friend one time and he was telling me everything we know about the truth today could be different, could be changed in about 20 years. What are you going to do about that? Right? You have no control about that. So if we live in an ever changing world where people are changing the definition of words and ideas and belief systems to fit a specific narrative, know that you are not in control of what happens in the future. Know that you are not in control of what happens when you're dead and gone. That the earlier you understand this as an individual, the better for you. You understand? Sometimes we like to think, human beings like to think, it's human nature to think that we have so much control and we have so much power and we can influence things that are beyond our reach. But you have to control the controllables. Focus on what's most important. Focus on what you're capable of changing, what's within your reach, right? You can feed someone today. Today's Saturday. You can feed someone on Saturday. You can give someone food. You can give someone a plate of food on Saturday. And by Tuesday next week, the individual is telling other people that you never did anything good for them. That's the world we live in. You can do good for someone on Monday, and by Friday of the same week, that same individual that you put food on your table for is telling people that you're a nasty person and a bad person. What power do you have over that? What power do you have over that? Heart eating cannibal says, eyes had me mesmerized. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate that. But think about it. Think about it. Yeah, someone says, I think what's wrong with Charlie is that he was trying to change people. I disagree. I don't think he was trying to change anyone. I just think he was giving people a platform to have open discussion. I don't think no individual can change anyone. No one can change you. No one can change me. You understand? Change is within. If I decide that I want to change, it's a decision. I have to choose to make that decision. But no one can really force me to change. They can convince me. You understand? They can give me points and point me in that direction, and I'll have to decide if I want to do it. I'll have to decide. Is God good? But why are people say God's not real? But yes, I don't know, man. I don't know. We live in an interesting world. Here's my opinion. I think it takes more faith. It takes more faith to say that God isn't real and like there's no God than to actually admit that there is a God. It takes more faith to say that there is no God than to say that there is a God. There's just too many interesting things happening in the world to look at the world and say there is no God. I'd be surprised personally if someone just you go through the world, you see all these interesting things, all these negative, evil things happening, and you think that we just live in a Big Bang Theory? No, come on, come on. He's real to you, not everyone else is. I understand that. I understand that. I understand that he's real to me. Yeah, I understand that. And I'm not in control of that. I'm not in control of what other people think about God. That's not within my control. My thing here, my mission here is to be a good human being. My mission here is to do what I'm supposed to do. And through that, if other people come to know God through me, cool. I'd love that, but I'm not in control of what other people think about the world. I mean, there's several people that have been through several interesting life, situations that have, made them lose their hope and their faith in God and in humanity and in society. You understand? And for such an individual, when you talk about God to them, it's going to be difficult because they have so much pain and hurt. And that takes time. You understand? That takes time. That takes a lot of, overcoming and strength and stuff. And to those people, my heart bleeds for them because there's so many. I talk to people all the time and I hear several stories, interesting stories, disheartening stories, things that will make you, you know, fearful about the world that we live in. So I have no judgment for people that don't believe in God or something. I think that we have to treat them with love and, give them grace to find God. Because we all go through seasons of our lives. Nobody's ever on a high. Nobody's ever 100% giving it all. It's not true. It's impossible. Because in our normal human nature, we are flawed. And so because we're flawed individuals, we go through highs and lows. So even the people that believe in God, they have seasons where, they're in pain and they're in fear and they're in doubt. It happens to the best of us, but it's the faith that keeps us going. Anyway, I don't want to lose track of what I was saying. So I know I went off track a little bit. So let me get back to what I was saying, right? You are not in control of what people say. And if you're in your youth right now, I mean, I call youth like 40s, 30s, 20s. That's still youth. You understand? If you're in your youth, focus on your mission. Focus on what you've been called to do, your purpose. That thing that sits so heavy in your chest whenever you wake up early every morning, you think about that. I want to do this thing. I want to go do this. I feel called to do this. Society needs more of this. I wish people would recognize this. I wish more people would see this. That's what you're called to do. Whenever you feel like other people are not seeing what you're seeing and you feel so strongly called to that thing, that is your mission. That is your purpose. So that's what you should be focused on. Forget about legacy. Legacy happens after you're dead and gone. You don't get to control what other people think about the thing that you're doing. You understand? You don't get to control that. Let me even show you why what I'm saying is true. Let me see. Monique Ramirez says, God knows that we do good things and God sees that we do something bad, but he loves us like Jesus died for us. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Monique, you sound like a pastor or something. Yeah, but I agree. I agree with that though. I agree with that. Let me explain something to you guys. There are people in our world today that think that Adolf Hitler is a good person. I am not in control of that. There's people in the world that think that Joseph Stalin was a good person. Once again, I am not in control of that. Even though the history books have written some interesting things about these individuals, their legacy is not as tarnished as most people would want it to be because there are people that feel and think that these guys were good people and that they were doing the right thing. And you and I have no control over that. So in the same way, you don't get to decide what happens. Hell yes, people can call you a hero today. People can call you a hero in 2000, right? People can call you a hero in the year 2000. And 25 years later, people will say, we hate this guy. Yeah, it's 2025 right now. Some of the people that we are calling heroes, in another 25 years, we might hate them because some new revelation might come out or something. Someone might come in and say this individual did this thing or this person did that or whatever, and you're not there to defend yourself. Think about the U.S. Constitution and think about U.S. history and think about the founding fathers, right? Think about the founding fathers. They probably thought that they would be remembered in a positive limelight, in a positive way. And I'm not saying I personally don't see them in a positive way, but there are several Americans that when you have a conversation with them concerning the founding fathers, they won't have anything positive to say about them. As a matter of fact, there are several Americans that hate them. Yes. So we will go through life, especially those of you that want to do politics, those of you that want to do things that are going to force you to be on a main stage, politics, education, whatever, business, whatever it is, tech founders, all that good stuff, right? You're going to be put in a position where people are going to judge you. People are going to look at you and have certain things to talk about, right? There's a popular guy. I don't want to mention his name, but he is responsible. He's one of the pioneers for one of the products that we use every day. We use his product every day. He was part of that organization, right? He's dead and gone. And people will call him a genius and people will say he was one of the smartest guys to ever live and all of that. But his family story is pretty interesting. And when I read through his story and some of the stuff that he did, I would consider him a really unethical guy, right? He's a very unethical guy. I'll give you a hint. He wore glasses. He's dead and gone, right? But he used to wear glasses. And so, something that he did was really unethical. And I was like, wow, he did that? This individual did that? I've always thought so highly of him. So now he's been dead and gone for a number of years, maybe like 10 years or maybe 15 years, maybe 10 years. But now, even me, someone who was a fan of him, I'm starting to look at him in a different lens. I'm starting to look at him like maybe this guy was really good in tech, but as a normal human being, he was not a good person. Do you see how quickly the narrative changed? Do you see how quickly we can start saying that we love someone and then we appreciate them and we're doing this and we're doing that and we believe in them? And after finding out some information, all of a sudden everything we know is like, I put a question mark on that. I put a question mark on that. I put a question mark on that because I thought so highly of this individual. But if what they're saying is true, then this person is not a good person. Do you see how quickly the narrative changed? But we're going to spend our whole lives thinking that our legacy is so important. We're going to spend our whole lives thinking about what other people think about us. When in actuality, the only thing we should really care about is our purpose, our mission, what we've been called to do. None of the other shit matters. And I'm sorry that I cussed, but yes, none of the other shit matters. None of the other shit matters. Monique says people know that Jesus sees us, but some people don't care, but some do. And what some people said. Okay, I don't know what you're saying, but anyway, we will go through life and realize that a lot of the stuff that we care about doesn't really matter. Now, I'm sure some of the people that are watching me are not in their 60s. Most of the people that are watching me right now are not in their 50s or 60s. And most of you are young people. Most of you are like in your early 20s or teenagers or in your 30s or something. But people go through life all the way up to maybe 60, 70, and then maybe at 60, 70, they start thinking about what their legacy is going to be, right? What their final days on earth, their final years on earth are going to look like, and what people are going to say after they're dead and gone. And you're losing the plot. You're losing the plot because what people say about you is not up to you. Because the first year after you're dead and gone, they can support you. People can say, "Oh, you were a great person," and all of that. And years after, people will bash you. You don't even know if your own family is going to defend you. You don't even know if your own son or your own daughter or your spouse or whoever is going to speak up for your name and say that what they're saying about you is not true and that you were a good person. You don't know that. You're not in control of that. And think about how many, for the Christians, think about how many pastors we know that they pass away, they die, they go, and then we start hearing some crazy allegations. Crazy allegations. Crazy allegations. Oh, he slept with this lady. He did that. He sexually abused this girl. He was having an affair. And the pastor is not there to defend himself. He's not there. He's not there to say, oh, what they're saying is a lie, or this is a money grab, or they're doing this, or they're doing that. He's not there, right? So how do you control that? You can't. So your main focus, your main pride should be in the mission that you've been called to do. The earlier we understand that the outside noise and the outside crowd is not important, the only thing that matters is what we've been called to do, the better. You will have so much peace of mind when you focus on your mission, on your purpose, on the thing that you can talk about daily, endlessly. The thing that you are so committed to. That is where your heart is. That is where your joy is. That is where your mission is. That is where you will find the most fulfillment. You won't find the most fulfillment when you live for other people. You won't find the most fulfillment when you live for other people. Even the ice cream, there's a popular saying that if you want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream. But that statement is flawed. And I'm about to show you why that statement is flawed. That statement is flawed because even at a certain point, the ice cream man becomes a nuisance to people because why is he playing music? Why do we hear the ice cream truck going around? Or if your parents are trying to save money and they hear the ice cream truck come and then they see you excited because you want ice cream, they're mad, they're upset because now they have to spend money. So even at a certain point, the things that are supposed to be pleasing to everybody can't please everyone. You see how crazy that is? Absolutely. So focus on your mission, focus on your purpose. There's a lot that you've been called to do. There's a lot you've been called for. That is your purpose. The earlier you understand that we don't have a lot of time on this earth left, the better. And the way that our world is moving, it's really interesting. It's a really interesting world. There's too much evil going on. There's so much crazy stuff. People are dying in the craziest ways ever. People are dying in the most insane ways ever. People are not even living to 50 anymore. So we have to treat life preciously. And one of the ways we do that is by putting the thing that we've been called to do as important, treating that as important, and leaving the other shit behind, leaving the extra shit behind. None of the extra shit matters. None of what our neighbors and our friends are going to say matter. Because at the end of the day, if we feel like we're called to do this thing, we have to follow through on it. Nobody sees you in your room when you're feeling miserable and you're feeling down because you felt like you're not doing the things that you need to do. How long can you pour out your how long can you pour out your heart to all the people that are close to you, right? They're not your therapist. How long can you tell them about your issues and your problems? Or how long can you tell them that you feel like you're being called to do this thing, but you're not doing that? It's going at some point they're going to get tired of you, right? And so this is for you. When you're in the bathroom, when you're right in front of your mirror and you're having conversations in your head, stop worrying about what people are saying on the outside. It's not important. It's not necessary. Nobody ever thinks about what people are going to say about them or what people are saying on your deathbed. They're just thinking about all the things they could have done or all the time that they've spent that they've lost. Oh yeah. Nobody's worrying about that. So, and that is arguably one of like the most important seasons in your life is like the season right before you die because there's so many things going through your head. And I bet you not one of those thoughts cares about what people are saying. So let's look at life with a different lens. We have to put purpose first before we worry about, what people are going to say. That's not in your control. You don't have power over that. Understand you don't have power over that. So let's live like that. I know we'll have a better life once we do that. I made peace with that. This is something that I've been wrestling with all week. I've been thinking about this all strongly all week, which is why I'm able to talk about this so passionately. Was I've been thinking about it. I was like, does legacy really matter? Is legacy really that important? Like do people really spend all your time building businesses and doing all these crazy things in the name of I want to have a good legacy, or is this actually a purpose-driven thing? Because purpose is what fuels you to keep going, not legacy. Legacy doesn't matter as much. Legacy is not what wakes you up in the morning and pushes you and fuels you. No, it's not legacy. It's purpose. Purpose is what drives you. Purpose is the driving factor that keeps you going. That's purpose. That's your purpose. Not legacy. That's not what legacy does. Legacy makes you more self-conscious. And if anything at all, in today's society, if we want to win, we have to stop being so self-conscious. And legacy makes us self-conscious. So thinking about legacy in and of itself stops us from doing the things that we're supposed to do. Because legacy is what makes you think about yourself, and you're not supposed to think too much about yourself. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't even take yourself seriously. Most of the people I know who are making crazy tons of money don't take themselves seriously. They take life seriously, though. They take life seriously, but they don't take themselves seriously. So that's how we should live. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. I mean, hopefully that doesn't sound crazy. I don't think it does. I think I pretty much explained that well. But I love you guys. I'll be doing another live stream soon. Probably around like 2:30. So I definitely have this one uploaded, and then you guys can watch it later. You can rewatch it later. But as I said before, my name is the Edmund. Thank you for joining me on this live stream. If you haven't already, please go sub. Please go sub to the channel. And I will see you guys in probably an hour, maybe. All right. Thank you. Peace out.